Well, good evening and welcome to Environmental Coffee House tonight. I am Sandy Shallis as usual. I'm here and maybe I'll make my name a little bigger. It's nice to see you guys. I hope people join us. I, well, we're going someplace tonight. We're going into World Food Day, but we're going into what does that mean for me, World Food Day? Where did it bring me? What articles did it bring me to? What thoughts did it bring me to? And I have a lot of them. And of course, I created a video tonight that we will um, watch soon. And first, I thought while everybody's joining me, we'll have a little funny. And I think this first one, I hope I can get this. I think this is the first one. This is, I think, what a lot of us have been going through. It really is pertinent to me and pertinent to, coronavirus, lockdown, changes, wearing masks, worrying about people, worrying about my husband, that kind of thing. And I think it's this. I hope it's this one. Nope, nope, oh, nope, wait a minute. Is it this one? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Let me make myself little and let me do this. And this one is the 4 stages of quarantine. And I think that a lot of us can identify with it. Now, for the longest time, I felt that I was between stage 3 and 4. But I don't know. I'm kind of like feeling like stage 4 minus the Lay's potato chips. But what do you say, guys? Do you think you can? Do you feel it? You feel it? Well, I do. But it's okay. I'm on a whole new course of action. But now that I showed our little, that beautiful little number 4, we're going to get started. And I'm not going to start with the articles right away, but I do actually want to talk a little bit about World Food Day. And I want to explain in my intros, my narrations, I create things from comments other people make. I collate, I put together, I get ideas, and it just leads me, into the creativity, of making a video for you to watch, and then talking about the pertinent news. But I can start about World News Day with okay, World Food Day. It was Friday. And it is every year, October 16th. It commemorates the date of the founding of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in 1945. So we are going to see a little video I put together with my take on the World Food Day. And just when you look at the videos that are out there about World Food Day, they're quite beautiful. The cultures around the world, the people around the world. I mean, humanity, with all of its flaws and all of its failings, is a beautiful thing. I mean, innocent children are born innocent. They're beautiful. We hope there's not too many more of them anywhere that are going to have to see the horrors that are coming. But and there's a lot in this topic. There's a lot in this topic. I mean, I can go through that. I'm going to talk about Jane Goodall, and I'm going to talk about farming processes and practices and all kinds of things tonight. But first, hopefully we're going to get more of a group together before I play it. And I'll just say good evening to some of you in the chat. Raza and Rich Diana and Kim Santino, our moderator, Garrett, and forgive me. This is not anything to worry about. We had the first fire in the fireplace yesterday, but not today. It hasn't been, but it was really damp, and I think cleaning it out and the smoke and the whatever, it got to me a little bit. Okay. And Poppy Davis is here, and Raza, what have you been talking about? all this stuff. Oh, excuse me. It's allergies because I haven't been anywhere, so I really can't have anything. It's just allergies. Hi, Scott Mears, and okay, cool. This is and Dee Dee's here. Dee Dee Sunbeam is here. Old Sage Joe. Hi, CB. Hi, CB and Nostradamus. Great. I'm glad that you're with me because I have a good video that I've created, and it takes a long time to create these videos, and oh my gosh. I will now unmute. It probably doesn't help that I have a brand new cartridge in my medical cannabis vape, two of which I've lost. This one finally charged. Haven't used it in a while. I know it's bad for me, but that's probably what this is also in relationships. So anyway, okay, we're getting up there. We're getting up there with people. Hi, Trevor Andrew. Nice to see you from British Columbia, the water expert. Oh my gosh, water systems are us. That's Trevor. And he is just a wonderful person. Nice to see him here. Okay, Kim says it's 58 in Washington right now. All right, well, listen. We're growing a group. I want to play the video so that I can get up and stretch. And then we're going to go through everything having to do with World Food Day, but from the lens that we look at it. Okay, us climate change aficionados, us science geeks, us doomers, us citizen scientists. So it'll be fun. All right. I need albuterol. Kim says, no, I don't need any more drugs. I just need to, I don't need that. I don't think so. And I know vaping's not good, but they won't give me edibles at the clinic, but I can't afford the clinic anymore anyway. So it might be just brownies for me. All right, listen, let's go with the video and enjoy. And I will be right back. I think this one is a 6-minute video. Enjoy it, and I'll go get myself taken care of here. All right, here we go.
Sushi tacos. I like sushi and tacos. What's the matter with you?
Well, hope you liked it. I don't know. The chat was pretty busy, so I really don't know if anybody watched it. But here we are. So let me get started tonight where my thoughts were, and basically they, with the articles I have, it's actually kind of, I'm going to start with one that is from the World Food Day. And but I'm not going to read them all, of course. I have a lot of thoughts pertaining to all this, but basically this first one, World Food Day, plant-based diet can fix food inequality, cut premature deaths. Now, of course, I'm going to see the vegans. I'm going to see the meat eaters. I'm going to see all of the different attitudes in the chat. And it's good to debate. It's good to talk. Be civil and be respectful. Okay? Okay. So here we start with this. And I think this article kind of encapsulates how I feel about the corporate food oligarchy selling the people crap food to eat in the United States. It's a self-reinforcing feedback loop in itself. The bad food, the hospital systems, the diabetes, the obesity, feedback loop, feedback loop, feedback loop. So premature deaths in low and middle income countries due to unhealthy diets, underconsumption, as well as overconsumption. There you go. It's an emerging concern. Well, it's a lot more than emerging. Exactly 75 years since the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, was established, which also marks the World Food Day on October 16th, there may be a need to push for a change in food consumption patterns. Food consumption patterns, they vary widely and can be best characterized by massive inequality. The same has been underlined in a report, Bending the Curve, the restorative power of plant-based diets, according to which there is a need to strike a balance in how countries consume their food. And a shift to plant-based diet, the report highlighted, may be the need of the hour. Now, this was a report published October 9th by the WWF. But this dietary shift will impact different countries differently. Now, while some countries will need to reduce their consumption of animal source foods, others may need to increase them, according to Brett Loken, WWF. Big green, big green. Oh my God, can you
smell it?
Can you smell it? It's a big green. For example, different consumption patterns are observed in richest and poorest countries, with European countries consuming approximately 600 grams per day more food, which is 1,800 grams a day, than African countries, which the average is 1,200 grams a day. Consumption varies wildly. Although undernutrition and obesity affect almost all countries. Wow, that's pretty something. Almost all countries. The rate of underweight people is up 10 times higher in the poorest countries as compared to other countries, the report stated. The rate of overweight, obese people is up to 5 times higher in the richest countries. It's horrible in the United States. Additionally, the shift may also cut premature deaths by 20%. So it talks about the shifting of the way food is, which, it's got to be political will. It's got to be, how do you fight the corporate food oligarchs, It'll improve human health by preventing overconsumption of any food, but will also reverse the biological loss that has occurred till now to improve environment and health. Some countries may see greenhouse gas emissions decrease while others may see them increase. Some countries will need to radically transform the current diets while others may need instead to work on to hold on to traditionary dietary patterns and resist a transition to a more Western diet. So listen, I'm not going to go through this, but the whole thing, because I have a lot of stuff, but here, they talk eating more sustainable food, eating more plant-based food and less animal-based food, eating healthy and locally grown, which is what we always say, and minimally processed food, eating lots of diverse food rather than consuming just one kind, which actually, that last one gives me a little pause because many people cannot eat diverse foods if they are in a local area that does not have avocados. Eventually what's going to happen is the trucking industry will not be able to deliver. There will be food shortages, and shit will hit the fan eventually. We could just be ready, ready, prepped and ready. Where the heck is everybody tonight? I'm not on Facebook. I didn't dually do it because I'm having a little problem with Facebook. And you know what? I couldn't care less. So what started me on this whole thing tonight is Jane Goodall, actually. And Jane Goodall had an article, and I will bring this one up. And it was in, when was this? It's not a newie, but humanity is finished off if it fails to adapt after COVID-19. And I'll tell you that she called for people to be lifted out of poverty, and she called for let me see. I have so many windows open I can't even tell what window's open to get back to another window. All right. She said, people to be lifted out of poverty, pointing to its strong impact on the natural world, as people with no alternatives and what are, who are desperate to feed their families. They're going to cut down forests to survive. And in urban areas, they're going to choose the cheapest food, whatever the harm caused by its production, because they have little or no choice. So that was one of the takeaways, from the article for me. I'm just trying to move some things around. That was the takeaway. Producer, director, chief cook, bottle washer. But that was the takeaway from this whole article, basically. She says that the emergence of COVID-19 on the overexploitation of the natural world, which has seen forests cut down, species made extinct and natural habitats destroyed. And then she talks about intensive farming. And they're here. I'm going to show you the graph that is in the article. And it shows the confirmation. She's talking about COVID, which I wasn't going to spend too much time on because other people do. And I'm talking about, if I'm going to talk about, well, it has to do with COVID because it's our habits with food that make people more susceptible to COVID, that get diabetes, that are overweight, that have these conditions. So it is that's, again, as I said in the beginning, it's a self-reinforcing feedback loop. See it, and I agree with this wholeheartedly. People must move away from factory farming and stop destroying natural habitats as a matter of urgency, she said, because the threat of diseases and climate breakdown. Factory farming is linked to the rise of antibiotic-resistant superbugs, which threaten human health. So this whole article is pretty interesting. I think you should check it out. I have more, but that's what got me started on this whole food thing, was actually this, as I found it in Reddit today. And I was thinking I'm going to share it with you. But Jane Goodall is amazing. The thing is as I ask, is anything too little too late? And I'm not going to be the, Miss Debbie Downer and Miss Negativity. I'm just going to bring you information. And I'm sure in the chat, if Book Hermit's with us, there's probably enough negativity going around. All right. So here's an interesting one I'm going to bring. This one, and all these segue into what I talked about in the film, the video I made. Livestock. So it's almost a case for veganism here in the beginnings. Livestock provide just 18% of calories but take up 83% of farmland. Avoiding meat and dairy is the single biggest way to reduce your impact on Earth. And personally, it is starting for me because even though I haven't been, I have so many vegetables I grew, and I have a lot of a wide variety of vegetables and non-meat products that I'm actually kind of happy with just doing what I'm doing. So this is what they look like, grazing. These guys were in the national forest in northern Brazil. So this was in 2009. Can you imagine what it's like now? Okay, with even more. I mean, that's what, 10, 11 years to destroy even more. All right, so basically that was the gist of it. The gist of this article is that cows, meat sucks. It says without meat and dairy consumption, global farmland could be reduced by more than 75%. Wow. An area equivalent to US, China, European Union, and Australia combined, and still feed the world? Well, okay, we'll see. This is the Catholic newspaper. I don't know. Maybe they have a little bit of but who knows? I just thought it was interesting. And I'll have to go into the actually, I am kind of impressed that the global Catholic climate movement is on here. As let's go through this together. Let's go all the way to the bottom and see who the hell are they. I'm going to accept their cookies, and let's see what 2018. I don't know who they are. I'm going to find out more about this little online Catholic climate change, but interesting article. All right, we're not going to go through that whole thing either because we will be on here for the rest of the evening. And I want to try to keep this not as long as usual. So I'm going to go on to the next article. And actually, this is more of a climate change moving article. I just wanted to go into this really quickly because in my overview, because it was from 2015, but it was in the Science Daily, and it was talking about plants are going to run out of time to grow under ongoing climate change. So you see, that's that self-reinforcing feedback loop again, because animals need plants to eat and to thrive, and plants need proper conditions and not, ridiculous heat and such high amounts of CO2 that it restricts them. So back in 2015, this one came out, and they said a key potential benefit of global warming that has been considered is that plants at northern latitudes will thrive in a warmer world. However, this prevailing assumption ignores the fact that plants in the north will remain limited by solar radiation, curbing the positive effects of warming and additional CO2 and availability. In addition, that same warming could surpass plant temperature tolerances in tropical areas around the world and further be accompanied by drought. So here we are, guys. Here we are. That was in 2015. And they said a new study shows that ongoing climate change will lead to overall declines in plant growing days by 2100. 2100. Cuckoo. Due to a mixture of warming, drought, and limited solar radiation. Well, I think now, 5 years later, we might be able to pull up that time frame. I would say not, the 2100 buzzword is kind of maybe 2050 because things are going faster than previously expected. Actually, really. I'll tell you what I think is the vast majority of people, they're never going to walk the walk and stick to new principles to do all these wonderful things. I don't know, to change. Like, with farming and veganism, or even just vegetarianism, less factory farming. They know, people know they need to take these certain actions and make small changes in their life, but then convenience, it takes over, and they go through that McDonald's drive-through. They order that quarter pounder anyway, out of what, necessity, or just desire. It's their convenience. I don't know, but I would sure love to see something different. And you know what? I'm trying to live it in my life. It's not easy, because I became the Mona Lisa. I became Miss Number 4. Vacillating. Depends on when you see me. Between 3 and 4. So the next piece I have. This was another Guardian piece. Now, and of course, I'm not going through all of them, but it gives you the flavor of where I have taken us. Can we ditch intensive farming and still feed the world? And that's another one that comes up because of World Food Day. But of course, World Food Day, and I'll get to where I want to get with World Food Day and the politics of it all towards the end. Why do we need to grow more food? It says here, food production around the world must rise by half in the next 30 years to sustain a global population expected to top 10 billion by 2050. Compared with 2010, an extra 7,400. Okay, I think this is a measurement of overall calories, probably per capita, maybe, will be needed a year in 2050. If food production increases along the current lines, that would require a landmass twice the area of India. Jeez, how do we stop the population like that? I just don't know. I mean, we just had a Catholic climate change newsletter, but they don't want to have people have even birth control. They and many other religions just pop them out. I know that's cringe. I just did a cringe one. World's population will grow to 9.8 billion in 2050. I might not be here, but my kid will, and she's going to see this world. She's 32. So you see how the trend line went up from 1950, and it went up to the billions, and look at that. It keeps going up. Do we have any idea of how it might not? Let me see what you're saying. Just I love you guys. Just gotta have it, Sandy, because it tastes so damn good. Whoppers are wonderful, and they make you feel so good about an hour later. Yeah, I can imagine that distress. Man, I've stayed away from those places for a long time. A very long time. Gary says he believes in hydroponics, aquaponics, and organic farming, period. Yeah, that's way cool. Way cool. Hi. Poetry, yoga, rad, eco, femme, and Suzanne Forsepi and Poppy Davis. So let's go back to this one, because it is about the land. Do we need the more land? And, I don't even have to read it. I'm just going to look at the graphs. Of course we're going to need more land. I mean, it's happening every day. Exponential. Well, I don't know if it's exponential. Food production, it'll have to grow by 50% by 2050 to feed the growing population. So again, here's another one, kind of like the same type of thing, but agricultural food output, billions of tons of food. So you can just see that trend line. Billions of tons of food, billions of tons of everything. It means that what are we going to be, just people in agriculture, nothing else, living in cities, so that all the other land, hell with the pollinators, they'll have artificial intelligent bees pollinating. God's sakes. Fertilizers that have improved poor soils have also had unintended harmful consequences. Okay, I think we know that. And what are the answers? So the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, the world's leading body charged with care of our future supplies, called this year called for transformative change in our food systems. Yay! Well, that's what we need. But it's not just in the farming, okay? And this is where I'm going to go into the little discussion of corporate food. It has a bigger picture than just changing farming practices. You have to get rid of the shit that's behind me. We have to get rid of the profit motive in food. Food is something that should not be I know it's always been a commodity. I know that back in the 1200s and they used to sail for chocolate. I know all these things. But it doesn't mean that I can't rail for changing them, for being on the ground floor for the younger people to change the whole paradigm of how things work. I guess that's the progressive platform. Progressives fight for a Green New Deal, but they need to fight for a degrowth deal. They need to fight for changing the corporatocracy, changing the oligarchy. How is this fight going to happen? How's this fight going to happen, guys? How is it going to happen? Oh my. Yes, and all fast food is corporate. But it gets me to the corona, with coronavirus, how the food system and the access to cheap, awful food that makes people get addicted to it, okay? And with the compulsivity of overeating, which I know well out of anxiety, the things that happen, and then there's just food, I've always said there's a wheel of neurosis. And this was like in my undergrad. I've probably talked about it before. You spin the wheel, and which is it going to land on? Is it going to land on overeating, smoking too much pot, drinking, compulsive sex? What neurosis is it going to land on? Well, for a lot of us, it lands on food, convenient food, drive through, smack it on your ass food. But a lot of us don't live where that is. I can't drive through anything here. But we do have a place that we call to order once a week. So I'm just as guilty, I'm just as guilty. And the thing is about their salads is they don't even have leafy greens in the salad. So they'll send me a salad. I'll end up adding my own shit. So why am I ordering it? Oh my gosh. So what are you guys doing out there? All right. Well, let me pull up something. All right. I'm going to pull up something that I got led to from this whole thing. And these people are very full of advancing economically viable farming, and they are all positive. They want to find out, you can find out how flagship farmers are investing to secure the long-term sustainability of their businesses. And these guys are all over the world. Flagship farmers. I'm not making fun of it, man. They're living. They're trying to do something. They're trying to make this work. So here's a guy from Estonia, and here's a guy from Spain. He says mechanization of planting, weeding, and harvesting has reduced labor requirements, but mechanization, I take it to be fossil fuel intensive. Here's a potato grower in Austria. So, all right, all these people, and I wish I could play you the video, but all these people are in, and they want to conserve forests, climate change, reducing waste, all of those good things. So let's see what they say about climate change. They say, of course, it's blah, blah, blah. But as farmers, we can be part of the solution and develop and adapt and develop our farming systems to be more resilient to these changing environmental conditions. So they've got a lot of information. And they say that there's a lot of opportunities, and they look at the research that's shown that farm efficiency and economic viability are closely correlated to carbon efficiency. Okay, and they've got tools. They are investigating methods producers are implementing to tackle climate change. So it's not like these farmers aren't doing anything. Here's a guy, a beef producer in the UK, and this guy at the Dexterra farm in Germany, he invested in an aerobic digester plant which produces 700 kilowatts of renewable energy. So there's little things that are they're positive, and they make you feel like, there's a reason to get up in the morning, because I know people aren't going to stop doing these things. Human beings are going to find the techno. The eco-modernists are going to keep talking, and the techno people are going to find the techno. You can't stop it. And even with degrowth, you got to start somewhere to degrow, and efficiency, I think, is a wonderful way to start. Here's one guy in the Netherlands, and he's total direct and indirect greenhouse gas emissions calculated, action plan aimed at reducing emissions and energy use. So he's at the beginning. He's at the beginning. We can't really watch their video, but there they go. All right. Now, next one was another one from Down to Earth. I found a lot of things. This one was talking about climate change making rice less nutritious, and we know this. And this was from 2018, putting millions of the world's poor at risk. So the scientists are very busy looking for ways to get around this whole mess. And it could potentially be a mess, because the rice is the look at the map here for where poverty and rice consumption per capita. It's pretty interesting stuff. Rice is a big thing. It sustains people, and it's not beef, but it uses a lot of resources, I guess. So, Australia. Okay, here's another one. I mean, it was just a plethora today. Australia's biodiversity at breaking point, which is a picture essay. Land clearing, deforestation, emissions, drought, and warming oceans are all worsening the attack on Australia's threatened species. So because of us growing, needing the space, polluting, and all of the other things we do, Australia also has problems. They're at the breaking point. It says a lot of the natural support systems, and there's a lot of threatened species. See, and they're talking about their extinction crisis, and the extinction crisis probably is partly from deforestation and agriculture and fires, and people moving out into the areas where all of these little sweetie things live. See, little sweetie things. Those little sweetie things were here before us, probably. I'm sick of us. I kind of wish the little sweetie things could stay and we could go. I think the earth and the planet would heal itself so much better. So, of course, we talk about land clearing and deforestation, habitat loss, and for the wood, and then for livestock. I mean, it's the same story. It's the same song and dance. Same song and dance. So Australia's having their problems. Lord. Well, this was... Actually, I was going to end with this one. This is not something I'm going to read. This is good. This is something you're going to read on your own. This is a pretty heavy-duty newsletter, Collapse of Industrial Civilization, Finding the Truth. But sometimes they have, sometimes they come up with their interesting little ditties, and I do enjoy reading it. I don't, always agree with everything, but I just wanted to give it a call out. They're talking about the mass extinction, which is, and this again, people go to The Guardian because it's such a good resource. Sixth mass extinction of wildlife, just what I was talking about. The Sumatran rhino, he's probably already gone. What year was this? No, this was from June. It's something it's something that just pains me. It does pain. It pains me as much as it pains all of you. It does. It does. I have a little humor, but maybe it's not time. All of this. Let me see my other one. No, I had one more. Oh, yeah, I wanted to make you laugh. That awkward moment. I wanted to get out of the seriousness for a minute. Let me get rid of this. That awkward moment when you come face to face with the corona bug. We've all seen that bug. We have to lighten up, because when you talk about this stuff, you talk about this material, and there's not a dearth of it. It's even in mainstream media now. It's the things that are happening are unfolding before our eyes. I think for me, going as much to a vegetarian diet is good. It's not that I can fix the world. I live in an agricultural area, and in my agricultural area, I see that cows, they live, most of them live on a pasture here. And when they get to a feedlot, which probably we shouldn't have them, they're fed agricultural waste and soy that's been pressed for oil, corn stalks, leaves, and cobs, and used distillers, grains from ethanol production. They get fed a lot of shit. And even grains fed to chickens, and pigs. It's gross. Ugh. I just don't know if that's the way anymore. But I'm not somebody that's expert in that field. I know that dairy, for instance, they are a little bit more healthier in their processes, because they go out to pasture a lot. But I that's about what I see in my area. So let's have a chat with the chat before we go and see what everybody's talking about. Let's see. We're light here in the chat. We're light here on the chat. The only way to deal. Yeah, well, it's Gary says this is why the population is important for the survival of our species. The population of what? I don't know, Gary. I don't know about the survival of our species. Hi, Snork. You listened to a talk today by a physician on the possibility that veganism might be very bad for us. I'm not personally telling or purporting or supporting. I'm giving information. And I shared with you information. So, but it would be interesting to, why don't you email me that, the link, okay? That's cool. Everybody emails me stuff. It would be awesome. Oh, Poppy says you're talking shit. It would be awesome. I want to say, I hope you guys, you should go listen to Paul Beckwith's couple of two videos on all of the processes, the atmosphere, the jet stream, and what is actually going on. I mean, he got really specific in the last couple of videos that I think you should go listen to. It made right now everything feel, I want to put things in perspective in how much we should fight. I mean, I have a lot of fight in me. So I don't want to see anybody stop being an activist or stop fighting for what they want. I think people should engage in the political process. I think people should stop whining about it if they're not involved in it. Because if you want change, how else do you change anything but by being involved in it? A lot of people just like to bullshit about it and not walk the walk. They just talk the talk. Suzanne, she drinks almond milk. The almond farms are somewhere. I think Kim, are almond farms in California too? Yes, Shutzy, good old Beckwith. Yeah, those last couple of videos. He is not. He's not encouraging as far as like length of time. Things are happening faster than and faster. But we still have to think of food production. We still have to eat. We still have to understand the things that go on, and that is why I did this tonight. And it was really great to have you guys with me. It's great if I can go less than an hour. Hey, Raza, stasis and utopia or progress and dystopia. You know what? You pretty much said it. I really appreciate everybody for coming. Do you want me to play my video at the end of this, or should I post it separately? I'm going to take a poll, and also please click like for me, and subscribe if you're not. Let's see, what's cheaper to grow and make yet more expensive than almond milk? What is that? Oh, Old Sage Joe? Yeah, Paul Beckwith is knowledgeable. He discusses climate change intelligently. His presentation is so boring, I have trouble listening. Yeah, well, but if you do engage yourself, that's why he only has 15-minute chunks. And another thing, Jim Massa has another really good one out. He has a really good one out. It's a long one, but it's really good. It's just go to his channel, Science Talk with Jim Massa. All right, let's see who's here. Hey, Lightning Rod. Let's see. It's in a class. In whatever he is describing, I love Paul. I know, me too. I learned so much from Paul. Paul's like our teacher, you know. Paul and Jim Massa too. Okay, sweetheart. Thank you, Poppy. So, do I play my video or not? Let's see. I didn't get an answer. No. Well, all right. It's not an hour. I'm going to play the video for whoever didn't see it. And I'm going to say goodnight, and I'll be back Thursday night. And I'll be back with Jennifer and, oh, thank you, Chris. Aw, isn't that sweet? And oh my God, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a better connection than ever. And then I can be bringing multiple guests on. So it's going to take a while, but I'm getting the thing. So, all right, I'll shut up. It was really fun. Thank you for understanding and listening to this talk about World Food Day and where it led me and led us. All right, guys. Yes, I'll play the video again. Poppy says play it again. Peace out. I appreciate you being here, and thank you. All right, here we go. Peace out. Peace out.
Sushi tacos. I like sushi and tacos.
with you?